Okay, I'd like to call to order regular council meeting of January 10th, 2011. Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Allen.
Here.
Dixon. Gibbons.
Here.
Hannon.
Present.
Harrison.
Present.
McLean.
Here.
Mowry.
Here.
O'Brien. Pate.
6 members present. This time, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
This time, I'd like to turn to chair announcements. The executive session of council was conducted tonight before we came out, January 10th, 2011. Litigation and police personnel issues. At this time, I'd like to turn to the reports of the officials and librarians report. Hearing none, can we turn to the police chief's report? Chief Mackey.
Thank you, Mr. Mowry. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I have a couple of items this evening. The first is I'd like to give a brief report on this year's food drive and Adopt a Family program. They were both very successful. The police department was able to distribute 171 boxes of food to people in need. We also made 2 large bulk donations of food to South Hills Interfaith Ministries and St. Winifred's Food Pantry. The Adopt a Family program helped 14 needy families in Bethel Park this year, and the gifts for the Adopt a Family included food, gift cards, Christmas presents, and we even had one family who had a furnace but had no one to install it for them, and Beverly Heating here in Bethel Park graciously provided that service. We in the police department would like to offer our thanks to everyone that was involved in the program, and also would like to thank Mr. Allen and Mrs. Gibbons. They came down and helped us package the food and get it ready for distribution. Sure they find it a rewarding experience, and
A lot of work.
invite you back next year. I wanted to remind folks again to sign up for the SwiftReach notification system. Last year, we had several bad snowstorms, as you recall, and we used the system quite a lot last year. And we put out a lot of messages, so much so that we went over budget, but it was well worth it to get that emergency information out to the public. But I wanted to let you know, once again, if you have an unlisted phone number, you are not automatically in the system. If you have a published phone number, you are. So if you would like to sign up, you can go to the Bethel Park webpage, www.bethelpark.net, and click on the police link. Once you get there, there's also a link to SwiftReach. You can go on there, enter your information. Once the police department verifies it, you'll be included in the system. So we would encourage you to do that so you can get the emergency notifications. The Citizens Police Academy is no longer accepting applications. For this year's class, we have a full class of 29 students. That's probably the largest we've had in many, many years. And it filled up. And we're also to the point where we're accepting applications for next year already. So if you're interested and you want to sign up next year, just give us a call at the police department. We'll get you signed up. You can also do it on the website once again. Just access the police page, and there's a section on there for the Citizens Academy. For the business owners out there in our community, we are in the process of updating our emergency phone contacts. It's very, very important when the police department has an emergency during non-business hours at your place of business, whether it's an open door or a burglary or a fire. We need to be able to get in touch with you, so we maintain a list of emergency contacts. Well, you can imagine we have hundreds and hundreds of businesses here in Bethel Park. It's really hard for a single officer to make all those phone calls and get that contact information. So once again, we make it easy. We put it on the website. You can put your information, your emergency contact numbers in the website. We will verify the information, and you'll be good to go. Like I said, it's an extremely ambitious project. We can't do it alone. We need your help. So if you would like to provide that information, please do so. And for any of these programs, if you don't have access to a computer, that's fine. Give us a call, and we'll do it for you. I had a couple of complaints about handicap parking. And just about any parking lot you go to, you'll see there are handicap stalls, there are handicap signs. We have some here at the municipal building. Please, if you don't have a handicap plate or a handicap placard, do not park in a handicap stall. It's a pretty severe fine that I'm sure you don't want to pay. I know sometimes people forget, but the officer can't read your minds. He doesn't know that you forgot to hang your placard from the mirror, so the first thing he's going to do is issue a citation. We can't, if you come back in later and show us your placard, we can't just take a citation and rip it up. Those things have to be processed. They have to go through the magistrate's office. And that could put you out a little bit of time and effort to have to go appear before the magistrate and explain, you're not going to pay a fine, but it's still a lot of time to go through a hearing and explain that you simply forgot to put your placard up. But that's what happens because once a citation is issued, we can't just rip it up and throw it away. So please be very conscious of the handicap stalls. And the last thing I had this evening is we have a new Crime in America book that came out just recently this past week. We've been doing this for a couple years now. And it's a free booklet. It has a lot of crime prevention tips for the community. And it doesn't cost us a dime. What happens is the Crime in America folks, they'll go out and they'll solicit local businesses. And they make contributions, which makes this publication possible. There are a number of crime prevention and safety tips in the magazine. There's also a list of emergency numbers, not only for Bethel Park, but Allegheny County, other numbers of interest. It's really a nice book. We have them at the police department. They're located at the community center, at the library. Where else? We have a couple locations. Just want to make sure that you guys get them. The Bethel Park Senior Center, Bethel Park Library, Beinhauer Connell Funeral Home, Pasta 2, and once again at the police department. The local businesses that contributed to the book, they all have ads in there. So when you go through the book, you can see who the folks were that made it possible. And if you pick up a book and you like what you see and you get a chance to thank those folks, please do so for us because they're the ones that make it possible. And that's my report for this evening.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from council? Hearing none, we turn to the fire chief's report.
Thank you, Chief. As the Chief said, belated Happy New Year to everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I think you're used to seeing Dave Gerber up here. Dave, fortunately for him, is basking in the warmth out in Phoenix, Arizona right now. So my name is Bob Brown. I'm the Deputy Fire Chief at the fire company. Years ago, I used to give the reports on a regular basis, so it's nice to come back up again and see some familiar faces. Before I get into our report for the month, month of December, and then I'm going to give an overall report for the year 2010, just a few reminders I wanted to give out to everybody. Talk about an impending snowstorm coming up. I'd like to remind our residents and business owners, if you have a fire hydrant on your premises or nearby, if you can make an effort to try to keep it cleared for us. That does assist us greatly in the event of emergency, a fire nearby, that we have the hydrants readily accessible to our personnel responding. I know last year when we had the big snows, our residents were very good at doing that, and we do greatly appreciate it. The second thing, as a reminder, I'd like to have everybody try to check your smoke detector batteries and your carbon monoxide detector batteries, if you can, weekly. I mean, that may seem like overkill, but they truly do save lives. And if the batteries aren't working or you forgot to put them in, they're not going to help you. So if you could do it weekly, that would be great. If not, at least monthly, try to remember. We usually, if we're called out to your home for a carbon monoxide alarm or for a fire alarm, we will usually check all those batteries for you, and if we're able to, if they need replaced, we will replace them for you. Also, a reminder for anybody that may have log-burning fireplaces, along the same lines as trying to test your batteries in the detectors, try to make sure that those are cleaned, probably on a yearly basis. If not cleaned, at least have somebody experienced in that check it for you to make sure that they are safe. Unfortunately, we do encounter, in years gone by, pretty severe fires due to chimney problems. So that's another reminder for our residents. And the last item I have is just kind of wanted, on behalf of myself and the fire company, just a thank you for the past year for 2010 to Municipal Council for all their assistance they provided the fire company, to Chief Mackey and his police department, Mr. Segrimis in the Public Works Department, Nora Helfrich in Tri-Community South, who was our EMS partners. We appreciate all the help that we received this past year responding to our incidents. Without them, it would be a very difficult thing to do in the community, so we do greatly appreciate it. And I will move on to the fire report for the month of December. We had a total number of fire incident calls of 31. I'm not going to break them down individually. The only thing that stands out in my mind, unfortunately, we did have a residential structure fire approximately 2 weeks before Christmas, which unfortunately was obviously very devastating to the family involved, but that was our most significant thing in the month of December. And then for our year-end report, and this would be for the calendar year, January 2010 through December 31st, 2010. We had a total of 483 incidents or fire calls for the calendar year 2010. And unless there's any questions from anybody, any comments, that will conclude my report.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to turn to the mayor's report. Mayor Morton.
You're welcome, Mayor.
Take care. Good evening, everyone. Good to see you out. And before the night's over, you're going to realize many of you have something in common. I'm sure you know what that is. For those of you who don't know, every month we start out by wishing a happy birthday to all of our folks that we've identified who were born in the month of January, in this case, and are 90 years old or older. So we recognize them, we send them a card, we have a luncheon for them once a year, and it's just a great little club. Tonight, we want to wish happy birthday to Perry Black. He will be 92 years old this January. Mike Conaboy will be 93. Francis McEwen will be 93. And Pearl Blackburn will be 93 this month. Here we go. 96-year-old this year is Agnes Vihar. Happy birthday to her. Aline Dole. It will be 98. Gertrude Koffler will be 97 this month, and our oldest person this year is Julia Gollett, and Julia will be 102. One of the most heartwarming things that we see when we get these people together is 200-year-old plus people meeting each other for the first time and sitting down and having lunch and talking. It's just a great, great experience. So happy birthday to all of these folks. Also, I want to make an announcement. If you haven't heard, this municipality will be 125 years old this year. And 25 years ago, of course, they celebrated their centennial. We're not going to go quite to that extreme, celebrate it as much as they did the last one, but we are going to do something. And we've got a committee of about 12 or 15 people working on this. We're going to try to do something starting this month and working all the way through September and concluding in September on Community Day. So if there's anyone out there, including any of you folks, who might be so inclined to want to work on this committee to help us celebrate and organize some things, please contact me or Kathy Lord-I, our secretary, and we'll get you set up. So the real reason most of you are here tonight is our Christmas lighting contest, and we're going to begin with Ward number 1. As you all know, there are 9 winners. every year, one in each ward. And Ward 1 this year was won by Robert and Jenny Stevens at 2907 O'Neill Drive. And here is Robert, anyway. And while Robert's coming up here, honorable mentions in Ward 1 were 1168 Sarah Street, 5557 Fira Drive, 5510 Main Street, 5684, 5525, and 5513 on Florida. All received a honorable mention. So Robert, tell us a little bit about your project there.
Well, thank you very much for the honor. I just tried to incorporate the true meaning of Christmas in my display this year. We all know what that is, and I keep that very close to my heart. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. All of the winners again this year will get our first class certificate of award, and they'll all pretty much say the same thing except for the addresses, the names. So this award is presented this 10th day of January by the municipality of Bethel Park to the Stevens residents. In acknowledgement of the outstanding 2010 holiday season display of decorations at your residence located at 2907 O'Neill Drive, you are hereby presented the Mayor's Award for Excellence. This recognition herein given to your home signifies that your holiday decorations were judged to be the best in Ward 1. Bethel Park appreciates your efforts to enhance our community's image at this special time of year, and I think you've just enhanced it for us, Robert. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes. I think we have a first-time winner here over in Ward 2, Eric and Beth Landcamp. I know one of them's here. Where's all the girls tonight? We're working. Congratulations. Congratulations. The honorable mentions in Ward 2 were at 106 Michelle Court, 5575 Saddlebrook Drive, 5581 Saddlebrook Drive, and 136 Pinto Court. And Eric lives down at 5530 Saddlebrook. And tell us a little bit about your project, Eric.
Well, I kind of started doing this about 20 years ago, and I kind of was doing it for the kids. But now the kids are older, and I kind of carried it on. In fact, we moved from a different part of Bethel, and I just added a little bit more each year. So the kids and my wife, it's a long day, but they help me out every year. And actually, shorten the day, make it from a 12-hour day to about a 6-8 hour day. But anyway, on behalf of my family who really pitch in, we all thank you.
We thank you. Ward 3. By the way, I think this might be the first year that we've had all nine of our wards represented. Usually someone can't make it, and we were concerned about Al Ciccini and his wife, but they're here. And your son's name again, Al, I'm sorry? Fred, sure it is. These are not first-time winners. The Ciccini house always looks great at Christmas time, always looks great. And I thank both of you fellows for working on this project year in and year out. Honorable mentions over there in Ward 3, by the way, were at 3225 Postgate and 592 Galway. And these folks live at 355 Turngate, and if you ever get up through there at Christmas time, make sure you see it. It's great. So, Al, you have something to say?
Well, we want to thank everybody for doing this, and my wife, and every year she adds something to it around the backyard.
In the neighbor's yard, too.
Well, and my son, he really appreciates it. He will be surprised if people come up there to see and just stop in front of the house.
Sure.
But,
You know what, talk, Fred? Congratulations. Good job. Ward 4, Lorene Kuda. Are you here, Lorene? Oh, here she comes. You weren't included. Oh, all right. Donald? Glad to meet you. Well, let me get your honorable mentions here down there in Ward 4. 7005 Lawrence Drive and 7028 Dumbarton Road and 101 High Ridge Drive. These folks are up at 2538 Applegate Avenue. And I have to admit, I didn't see your display this year. Tell us about it.
Well, we just enjoy putting on lights out each year for our children, and now I've been having, both of us are expecting grandchildren soon, mine within 2 weeks, Lorraine's by next summer. So each year we add more and more on to keep hopefully bringing the children back. And this year we just added more by adding the playland, and next year we're going to even add more onto that.
Great. Maybe we'll have you back again.
Maybe.
We do have a rule. We ask the winners to be next year's judges. So consider that when you get your letter. We do that for a selfish reason. We don't allow them to vote for themselves. There you go. Well, anyway, congratulations to you both, and thank you. Leslie and Nancy Pollenbein, 2209 Milford. Leslie's making the long walk up here, and we don't have any honorable mentions for Ward 5. I think that was an oversight on the part of the judges. Talk to us a little bit about your project.
Well, this is our third trip here. In the past 10 years, so we're batting 300, so we might make the Hall of Fame before the century's out. I have to give a lot of kudos to my wife because she's the one that pushes me out the door to set up the outdoor lights, and it takes us a full week to get everything completed, and we have a few minor glitches here and there, but it ultimately works out. And we have 2 young grandchildren that it's great to see them in total awe of the lights, and that brings us great pleasure to see the young children viewing this extravaganza, if you want to call it that. And we thank you for having this program in the community. I think it's apropos to what Bethel Park means to this country.
Thank you.
And we thank you.
Very nice.
Us old codgers enjoy it too.
Did you hear that, Leslie? Our oldest old codger just said, us old codgers enjoy it too. Ward 6, Greg and Carol Pahodich. Now there's a familiar name. Oh, they're all at me this year. Look at this. You guys all got involved in it, huh? All right. Honorable mentions. You had competition down on Delaware, 1054 Delaware Avenue and 960 Delfield. But you won again. Talk to us about that. This is a very unusual display. Who's our spokesperson? All right.
It started a couple years ago as a really fun project. My dad and I saw a video on YouTube, Christmas lights dancing to music, and we're like, we have to do it. So we started a couple months before Christmas, probably about, September. We just started working, and now we just keep on adding new songs every year, and people just keep on coming. It's really great. I also like to thank my friends. They've helped a lot over the last couple years, and my brother. So.
Which one is the brother? The short one.
The short one. They've helped a lot over the years. I thought they deserve some recognition too.
If you've never seen this display, take a look at it next year up on Happy Hills Drive. You pull up and it tells you to turn your car radio on to a certain station, and when you do that, the music and the lights start, and it's fascinating, just fascinating. Great job again. Thanks for helping. Keep it up, guys. You're going to be good judges next year. Okay, Ward 7, Tom and Christy Dawson, 3008 Oakhurst. Ooh. Oh, this was the one, Kathy, that we weren't sure was going to be able to make it. So anyway, Tom and Christy Dawson are at 3008 Oakhurst Road, and there was some question whether they could make it tonight. They can't. 2990 Greenwald Road gets an honorable mention, as does 3344 Crestview Drive and 3352 Thornwood. So congratulations to all those folks, and we'll make sure the Dawsons get their certificate. Ward 8, Bruce and Regina Bosley, 2789 Milford. The Bosleys are here. All right. I think you've been here before. No? No? All right. Well, good. Good to meet all of you. Good to meet you. I have a long arm. Your competition was down on Glen Oak Drive, 1031 at 4930 Highland and at 2539 Summit. So there were some pretty nice displays down there. And you're at 2789 Milford, right? Tell us about it.
Thank you. I was really impressed when I got the letter in the mail. We try to do a different theme every year, and this has been a tradition since I was a child. I started with my father started me into this, and actually right now I got to give a lot of credit to my son, our son Paul, because he's now taking up the tradition as well. It's taken us usually about 2 weeks prior to that to actually test all the lights and get everything together, and we're very, very happy and very honored to have this award.
Well, we're very happy, very honored to give it to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, we're down to Ward 9, Stephen and Sharon Garcia. Stephen is at 334 Fruitwood Drive. You had some competition down on 792 Greenhaven, 390 Limestone, 104 Topaz Court, and 154 Opalwood. So lots of good displays down there. Talk to us a little bit, Steve.
Yeah, we've been doing this about 15 years. Every year continues to get funner and exciting. This year I was really impressed because I didn't have to borrow any power from my neighbors, which was a bonus. And with the new remote controls that you can do, everything's on remote. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah, exactly. So after doing 3 days of rain duty in early November to make sure nothing was going to blow, it turned out really well. I'd like to thank my wife and my kids for helping me, and more importantly, the little kids of the neighborhood during the summer when they go, "Hey, that's the Christmas guy." I like that. That's rewarding.
Well, congratulations to you, and thank you so much. If you ever run out of electricity, see Mr. Cicchini. He owns an electric company. I believe that's all we have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
and thank
Mayor.
all of you winners again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, could we turn to the approval of the minutes? And Mr. Allen.
I move that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of December 13th, 2010.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the regular council meeting minutes of December 13th, 2010. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Dixon?
Yes.
Givens?
Yes.
Hannon?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Mowry?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the approval of the bills and payrolls, and Mr. Allen.
I move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 011011 in the amount of $1,519,632.65.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list 011011, the amount of $1,519,632.65. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Gibbons?
Yes.
Hannon?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Mowry?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. At this time, can we turn to the resident comments section for non-agenda items? If anybody has any comments, if you come to the microphone, state your name and address. We have a 3-minute limit.
Mr. Richard Chongway, 8th Ward, Belmont Avenue. Does the borough manager ever give a report?
Not as part of our normal.
Not as part of normal?
Correct.
Is there a policy and procedure for responding to a letter sent to the borough manager by a resident? I sent a letter to him regarding my comments about signage and asking for a written response. 40 days later, I received a letter. The response was generic, weak, and of little substance. I believe at the last meeting here in this chamber, there was some discussion about my comments about signage. Basically, I believe you referred to the First Amendment, and that is what gives the political wannabes and anyone the privilege of putting signage on public property. This is a sign that I brought to the attention of the borough manager last summer. I support the Relay for Light. It was posted in front of the building. I brought it to the attention of the borough manager. It was not removed. This is part of the freedom of speech, First Amendment. Perhaps I can also post signs out there in the form of I support. I support the Cannabis Society of Mendocino. I support the Westboro Baptist Church of Kansas. I support Reverend Jones in Florida. I support ad infinitum. I had asked for a written response from my initial inquiry about signage. I believe the borough solicitor had done some research. I would like a copy of his research for a second opinion, if that is all possible. If not, I have a comment from the city of Evanston regarding signage on political signage on public property. I also have a comment here from West Mifflin. Apparently, the ACLU has been very adamant in protecting individuals on private property. I have found no substance in my research that protects public property being used for political signage or any signage. Again, for a solicitor, may I have a copy of your research?
I would suggest that his comments appeared in last month's meeting, then that they're available on the municipal website, so you can get the comments regarding.
No, the comments are there. I'm asking for his research on the subject.
My advice, sir, is given to the Borough Council, which is my client. They asked me to make a public report, which was transcribed in writing. I think it's very clear. I feel very confident in my opinion. And unless I receive further direction, it's not customary for me to provide my research file, my work product to the public. My opinion is made public to the council as the direction made. I think your comments really are not an accurate reflection of what I said at the last meeting. Maybe if you look at the minutes, you have a clearer idea of what.
Well, when the minutes come out, if they are posted on the website, I shall.
Yes, sir.
Can someone read the ordinance of Bethel Park for clarification so everyone in this room understands what it says?
It was read during my report to the council. You'll see it reflected in the minutes.
I don't remember hearing you read it on the last meeting. Perhaps?
I think I quoted directly from it.
Beg pardon?
I think I quoted directly from it or summarized it.
But did you read the whole thing about no sign, temporary or permanent, may be erected or displayed upon public property or within rights of way, including upon utility poles and trees upon such property, except for signs erected and maintained by governmental or utility agency? That is 69.53.5. I believe there's also 69.53.8 that refers to the triangular section at intersections. And I believe there's something about the First Amendment, also freedom from religion. Some of the signs that I have seen this past summer are supporting some church events. Is that part of your comment and approval? Because I believe that Mr. Mowry has a basement full of signs ready to go.
Well, I would just say, sir, and I'll leave it up to council, I'm not sure they want me to comment. I think if you look at my comments, you'll understand what my opinion was. There clearly was the ordinance, I referred to it, and I referred to Bethel Park Public Works Department's program of keeping those rights of way clear, and how that program is carried out in a way that I feel as solicitor is consistent with the First Amendment. And that's my opinion, that's my advice to my client, and that happens to be my legal opinion. I think the municipality is dealing with it, enforcing that ordinance in a way that's effective and that's even-handed and does not open it to claims of discrimination against people because of their political or religious views. And I really don't have anything else to say about it. I mean, there are a million legal opinions in the naked city. That's mine, and that's what I've given the council and public and the Public Works Department. And you know, it's up to them whether they want to follow it. But I feel very comfortable the Public Works Department is enforcing that in a way that will not put this municipality in a situation of litigation where the taxpayers are paying attorney's fees or damages. That's my opinion, sir.
If I can ask you to conclude your comments, please.
Yes. Perhaps when you place your sign for the first time, we can have a sign placing ceremony. We can invite the media. We'll have a big ceremony, and the mayor can officiate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other residents that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none, can we turn to General Policy and Finance and Mr. Hannon?
We have no agenda items under General Policy and Finance, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hannon. Are there any additional items?
Mr. Morris.
Mr. Harrison.
I'd like to have a discussion with the public, for the public, or whatever. I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and I'd like to suggest that this year may be happier than many in the recent past. I've quoted my mother from this dais on occasion. Her concern was that the country's going to Hades in a handbasket. I think she had good reason for expressing that type of concern. But I think we got the attention of the elected officials at all levels in the November election. And if the chatter that we hear at the national level is based on fact and not rhetoric, then I think that the future may look a lot more promising for the country than it did in the past. I primarily want to talk about issues in the state, but I do want to make a point that is bothersome, and that is that our Congressman Murphy, voted for card check. Card check, if it becomes a law, would force people into, that is employees, into unions without having the opportunity to vote. And I think that's just inconsistent with the basis of our country. One other concern I have about Congressman Murphy is that he is supporting bailout of the financially strapped pension funds. And I just have a saying that I tell people that there's always a complaint that the unions caused all this. My comment is there's never been a union contract signed that management didn't sign. So it's a shared responsibility. I don't think we ought to try to put the noose around the unions. But I also believe that if the management unions get themselves into a financial situation that they can't sustain, then I don't think they'll be looking to us as citizens to use our taxpayer money to bail them out. I think they have to solve their own problem. For approximately 6 years now, I've been speaking to a legislation on so-called prevailing wage. Prevailing wage was a piece of legislation signed by Governor Lawrence way back in 1962 that said that if you are going to have a contract that's greater than $25,000, you have to request a prevailing wage determination. And using cost of living escalation, that number today would be around $200,000. I think updating that legislation is a no-brainer, and Representative Marr, in 2 legislative sessions in a row, introduced legislation to change that, and like all legislation that goes to committee, it went to the Labor and Industry Committee in the State House of Representatives, and that committee refused to put it on the floor, primarily because unions objected to it. I'll just tell you that Senator Pepe and Representative Marr have been supportive of changing that. Unfortunately, Representative Smith will not support it. But I can tell you this, that I sent the information to every elected official in Pennsylvania, every member of House of Representatives. And I got several responses from both Democrats and Republicans that said, if you can get on the floor, I'll vote for it. So I'm just saying, I think that I'm optimistic that we can get something done now. I've sent an email to both Senator Pepe and Representative Marr, reminding them that I'm a Boy Scout and you ought to be prepared, so I'm asking if they get the legislation ready to go so they can put it in the hopper, and we'll see what happens. The other things that I spoke to, I'll just mention, in addition to communicating with my 2 elected representatives, state representatives, I also wrote a letter to the Tribune Review, which was published December the 28th, which addressed these items I'm talking about. The Tribune Review has been very supportive of changing the prevailing wage legislation. So I thought that I'd let them know I'm still active in this arena. I've asked Senator Pepe and John Marr to inform me when legislation has been put in the hopper so I can follow it and urge action on it. The other thing I'll just tell you is that I tell them no excuses now. Both the governor's house, the Senate, and the House is under control of one political party, so there's really no excuses now. Well, the other party's blocking getting it done. They either get it done or they don't get it done, and I'll keep you informed on that. The couple other things I mentioned is I think that our legislature ought to take action on controlling teacher strikes. The police can't strike. I think that those type vital services just shouldn't be allowed to put the public at a disadvantage by having a strike. And the other thing that I hope they address, and they verbally addressed it, and that is reducing the size of the legislature. I just think that we're spending way too much money and don't need all that. So the purpose of talking to you tonight is that whether you agree with me or not, I think we have the attention of the elected officials, and you ought to take the opportunity to communicate your views to them, and hopefully we'll get some things done that I think the public likes to see done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any additional items? Hearing none, we turn to planning and zoning, and Mr. Dixon.
Mr. President, we have no agenda items on for this month. However, I do have one additional item.
Mr. Dixon.
As I think everybody in the community knows, the Bethel Park School District is engaged in a very large project on the school campus, constructing a new high school building. Part of the approval process for that project was that if any changes were made to the scope of construction or the project approval itself, they would have to come back into the municipality for a new approval with a new application. They did bring an application in to the municipality. The Planning Commission began to look at that last week, and I wanted to make the community aware of it, that it is not a new application per se, but rather related to the original project. When they come in for the additional approval, of course, any changes have to be reviewed by the Planning Commission and approved by council on the floor. If they need any variances, they have to go to the Zoning Hearing Board and apply for those variances that they need. And everything goes just as if it's a brand-new application, even though it's related to the current project. So I wanted to ask Mr. Duke if he would make some comments and let the community know what the details of this application involve.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dixon. In fact, I had my speech already, and you just did it all. So, so I got to play by ear here. Mr. Dixon's correct. The plan was originally approved by the municipality on March 9, 2009, and it was a conditional approval. One of the major conditions was if they were changing any of the modifications to the timing and the schedule of how they were going to construct, they would have to come back to the municipality to get the approval. This past fall, the construction manager indicated that they were not able to make that construction schedule. And at that point, we informed them that they would have to apply for a new application. On December 14th, they did file for the modification, and the plan went last Wednesday for the first public review before the Planning Commission at their workshop meeting. The major changes to it is primarily the phasing of how they're going to be tearing down the buildings and constructing the parking lot. The school they have told us is on schedule, and they're planning on having that constructed. But unfortunately, they have the school constructed, but all of the facilities are not going to be in place, including the parking lot. So they wanted to get the revised schedule before the municipality for approval, but also they needed to get approval for the lack of parking. That is not privy to the municipality. That is actually through the zoning hearing board, and they'll be applying for a variance. So the schedule that's coming up is that on February 9th, there possibly could be a recommendation made by the Planning Commission. They're going to be looking at, on February 2nd, those changes at a workshop meeting. Then council will get their application, provided that the Planning Commission makes a recommendation on February 28th at a committee meeting, and the first that the council could possibly approve the change to the schedules on March 14th. The school district, we cannot issue an occupancy permit for the school until they have all the improvements together. As I mentioned, the parking is not done. They'll have to go for the variance on that. They have indicated that they probably will be submitting for their appeal in March, and if that's the case, then they'll be at a April 4th hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Okay. That's all we had for planning and zoning. Just wanted to bring the public up to speed on what's happening over there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dixon and Mr. Duke. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to health, safety, and welfare, and Mr. Allen?
Mr. Meyer, we have no items under health, safety, and welfare this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to public works and maintenance, and Mr. Allen?
And Mr. President, we also have no items under public works and maintenance this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Are any additional items?
Move we adjourn.
Hearing none, motion to adjourn second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.
Sign up now for your Bethel Park Community Center Gym and Track membership. This membership will grant you access to the gym and track facilities at the Bethel Park Community Center for an entire year. Stop by the Bethel Park Community Center during regular business hours to complete the easy 4-step process that will have you enjoying our great athletic facilities in no time. Once you're at the community center, all you need to do is provide photo identification to verify your address, fill out one of our membership applications, have your picture taken by our staff, receive your membership card, and you're ready to enjoy the Bethel Park Gymnasium and walking track. You will receive a wallet and keychain-sized ID card, which you will need to bring with you every time you use the gym and walking track. If you forget your card, you may provide your information to the community center staff, and they will be able to pull up your membership information and verify your identity through the picture stored in the system. This will be done a total of 3 times before the staff will require that you purchase a replacement membership card. Youth, adult, family, and senior memberships are available, as well as individual daily passes. Individual memberships include 5 complimentary guest passes, and family memberships include 15 guest passes. So you can invite other friends and family to enjoy our great athletic facility. So sign up for a Bethel Park Community Center Gym and Track membership today and begin enjoying all the great recreational resources it has to offer. Contact the Bethel Park Community Center for more information.
Hi, I'm Greg Poge, and this is A Plan.
And I'm Mike Shaheen, also known as Bill Cosby.
BPTV is in desperate need of volunteers, new TV shows, and even your own short films.
Like on YouTube.
For example, you can send your own YouTube videos, and we will gladly put them on the air.
Right, because I just said that like 3 seconds ago.
We can show you all the tools you need to create your own TV show.
Like Photoshop, Final Cut, or After Effects.
A lot of the equipment we have at BPTV is the same equipment used by professionals in your favorite TV programming.
Shows such as Scrubs or Mythbusters.
We'll even take you step by step through the creation of your own show. Plus, you get to meet a bunch of fun people who enjoy doing the same thing, like us.
Yeah.
We really need some new material for BPTV.
Yeah.
I mean, the only people working are me and this plan.
Yeah. Wait, what?
That's right, just me and this plan.
Greg, I'm right here.
It's really hard to come up with ideas whenever we just have me and this plan here.
Greg, we're filming a video right now. I mean, we sat here for an hour writing this script out. Can the camera even see me?
Like
Hello?
I said, come to BPTV and help me and this plan make some good television. Because clearly, no one else is here.
Greg, I'm right here. Hello? Oh, come on.
Hi, my name is Sarah.
And I'm Denise, and we're here at the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society.
We are here to tell you about our Girl Scout Gold Award project.
As you can see, these animals are very lovable, but there's a problem here at the Humane Society.
They do not have enough wet food to give to their animals.
And that's where you guys come in.
We are asking for your help through a generous donation to the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society. At this time, we have collected over 1,000 cans and donated them to the Humane Society, but they still need more. These animals need their food so they can continue to have healthy, full lives before they are adopted out to a loving home.
Another way you can help out is by adopting an animal from the shelter.
Thank you for your time and attention, and I hope that you have the consideration to remember the animals at the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society.
Hey, you ready?
Of course I am.
What are you waiting for? I was waiting for you.
So we're gonna continue the hubby thing real quick.
Okay, places everyone.
In a minute!
Do I have to do everything myself?
You can't do it all by yourself. I'd say that... Sure I can.
No, he can't. And neither can I. So why don't you come on down to BPTV and help us make some of the great community programs you see on this station every day.
Yeah!
I mean, we can help you make your TV show ideas a reality.
It's pretty awesome.
So come on down. I mean, I am pretty good. But I'm sure I could use your help.
Monsters do have their place. In the zoo, in your nightmares, in the deep, in your favorite horror movies. But not in your living room, on your TV. Don't let pay TV be the monster in your living room. Pay TV and cable TV companies are seeking the right to charge you for the very programs you now get free. If you want to stop pay TV and save free television, sign the petition in the lobby of this theater. Let your lawmakers know how you feel in the fight against pay TV and cable TV.